I want to know what's coming in next. So the upcoming week.
Yeah. So we know we don't know. So the trade for the week starts. We'll know what that level is tonight at 8 p.m. We don't know that yet. So it's still 7 hours away. It's likely to be around this level over here, 79.9. So let's call it 80.
Wow.
That's a pretty hefty way down,
Yeah.
right? So that is a trade that let's say we're where we are right now. That is 5% you can make on that trade. So that's 250% you can make at 5x leverage. Super sweet. Super sweet. Plus, these, I haven't actually explicitly made this into a rule yet, but the trend usually lasts for 1 to 3 days and then reverses or stabilizes and then falls again. Let's see if we can see it again over here. Um, this one's a little bit crazier, but it's 1, 2, it's a little bit of 3, stabilizes, and then the trend reverses. Um, over here, 1, 2, 3, stabilizes, and then reverses. So this 1, 2, 3 thing like seems to happen quite a bit. It's not an exact rule, so I find it very hard to state like that. But here it's 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we reverse. So when I see 3 days have already passed, and we don't get a strong bounce off one of these levels, then I go, okay, maybe now we're gonna head to the reversal, especially since this is coinciding with the downtrend. This is our downtrend channel, and we have unmitigated levels, or one more over here, and there's no levels at the top to clear. Okay, now if that happens, and the level is at 80,000, which I don't see why it wouldn't be. The price would have to dramatically rise for it not to be 80,000. That would still be that would still be a long-term weekly downtrend. So let me just change our trend to week so you can see it. So now our trend is showing that we are in a bearish trend for the week, right? We have to break above here and start making new levels up before that changes. So this would be confirming a downtrend for the week.
Right.
Okay. That's why I'm saying there's still a possibility, a tiny, tiny, tiny possibility we get down to these levels. I don't think so, because if we take a look at our liquidity indicator and we look at the trend on the daily chart, one, this rise up in liquidity is coinciding exactly with what we were talking about. I mean, exactly. Peter, remember this debate of what's the offset for liquidity for to track? And I've been screaming for 78 days for the longest time now. And to me, it was like essentially, I mean, on this period over here, it's like exactly when it started going up. Just thought it was amazing that it happened exactly. Plus, over here, you'll notice on this downtrend that we've been following, I don't know if you can see this here, Peter. Let me
Yeah.
make it a little bit
I can see
clearer.
it.
Perfect. So we have this downtrend we've been following, and we've been moving in and out of this zone here, right? In and out of the zone. And you'll notice over here that it kept being pulled back into that area, pulled back into the channel. It bounced over here, pulled back into the channel. It wicked up, didn't get through, came back down. It came back down to this level because it's being pulled, and it got whipsawed back up. So when you see that the pull back into a zone, either bullish or bearish, overshoots, it usually means there's so much upward pressure that the trend is breaking,
Hmm.
right? And this to me, this trend ends when we get to the yearly level over here. Now, our yearly wave, this only matters if we're still in a bullish trend, long-term bullish trend. The day that we break down below 74 or break down below the yearly wave, I'm going to be telling you now I'm looking for a bearish regime. We're headed to 40,000 on Bitcoin. That's what I'll be saying.
Right.
But until that happens, you can't front run that trade because you'll always get the massive run up right when you're at the low level. Like that's where you get the massive run up. So to me, it's no coincidence that it's around here that we got the break above that channel. This wick over here couldn't break above, right? It went up and then immediately got pushed back down. Over here, all these wicks trying to break up above, and it got immediately pushed back down. But it got pushed back down, grabbed the orders where it needed to grab the energy, and started moving up. So I would not be surprised that for the next day, that what'll happen is that we will fall into the weekly trade. We'll fall into the weekly trade. So which will show up around here. We'll fall into it, maybe even a little bit further down, and then so that the can and then blast up so that the candle tomorrow would be something like this. That I would not be surprised. Where the candle at the beginning of the day, as we get down here, is fully red, and people go, "Oh my god, we're headed back down towards the lows," but then it closes up pretty violently above this trend. If that happens, this to me would confirm such a bullish move. It'd be hella bullish because now the here, which was support before, actually moves up to here. This becomes our support, and then we bounce off over there upwards. Plus, we need to gain energy to pass this trend, this way yearly trend. Peter, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. I don't think I've actually ever mentioned this on the show, but there are we've never actually gone through the wave indicator, and I won't go through it all right now. But I don't even know if you know this, but
Wait, hang on, pause.
yeah.
Are we done with upcoming week?
Well, no, I this is the last part I want to say for this upcoming week.
Gotcha. Go ahead. Go for it.
So we keep talking about the yearly wave, right? As a support level for bullish trend. But I've never actually talked about some of these other waves. And there's this one particular wave that I've been referring to again and again in different shows, but I haven't actually explained what that guy is. The wave indicator is not just your average move. It's just not your average moving average envelope. It isn't. It's volume weighted, but there's specific formulas set up to decide the different levels. And those levels go through three phases. There's the three phase over here where you see the three, the four phase, the six phase, and the nine phase. These are phase shifts for these time frames. Which is why when I say the yearly wave, I started saying the yearly wave because if you actually just put on a yearly moving average, like a 252-day moving average on the daily time frame, you're not going to get the same level. So I got to start saying it in a different way.
Right.
These different levels are one of the things that were brought to me inside of my dreams for developing the system. And I didn't understand what they were. In fact, I didn't even have the names for these levels. I have these names for like a idea of moment, segment, episode, period, shifts, day, week, month, year, lustrum, turning, seculum. But when I came up with the formula, I didn't even know about any of these things. What I got a dream. I coded something else, um, planned out the levels, and I was like, hey, what if I take this formula and put them into TradingView? And then it created this moving average envelope, which I guess I wasn't even really thinking about. I was going to create this envelope, and then when I saw how the price interacts with these levels, it made total sense. And it just seemed like it was speaking to me. And then as I'm looking at it, I realized, oh, these different levels represent certain periods of time that are representative for an individual human being. So the first thing that jumped out to me was like the day, week, month, and seasonal average, quarterly average. They were sort of on, but a little bit off than what you would do if you just put on the quarterly average. But they're almost pretty dead on. I was like, okay, that's interesting that these four matched up. And then I was like, oh yeah, the year matches up. And the one after that was like a lustrum, a 5 year period. I was like, oh, I don't know like a 5 year period like even mattered, but that actually modified the charts. Then turn-in and seculum, which happens rarely, 20-year and 80-year cycles. And then it went down. Shift. I was like, oh, this is a period that represents like a work day, like an 8 hour work day. Period is if someone would talk about a period within a day, they would talk about like this length of time. An episode, this was how long it takes to watch a particular show. A segment, how much is a segment on a new show? A moment, what would people consider to be a moment of time? An idea, how long it takes to get an idea. All these, and then decision was even lower than that, which is
Wow.
the time it takes for someone to make a decision. So I was like, wow, these matched up. And then as I phase shift them out, through different bases. I'm not going to go through the math of it, but basically that's phase shift out 3, 4, 6, and 9. The 3 would give me uh, sort of like sine wave shifts, whereas the 4 were seasonality. The 6 were cyclicality, and the 9 were long term trends, which I just found to be interesting. And different charts respond to these different levels in different ways. And the study of which will take my entire life in order to fully realize. But suffice to say, this level over here, which is this is 86.5, represents the turning three, and it's a very powerful level that the chart responds to quite often. It's going to be hard for me. I haven't actually modified it in such a way that you can only see that on the chart. I see it, blonde, brunette, redhead, but the it often represents a the trend of the asset you're looking for, especially for Bitcoin. So all that to say that for this week, to me, another reason why I took the short is that I knew we were headed into that resistance, and we have to have enough momentum to cross it. And the only way you get enough momentum is that the price has to fall and then move up. The further it goes down and moves up, the more you get the liquidations, which we talk about all the time. We get the liquidations of the shorts that end up moving the price upward. Okay. So my bullish thing for the bullish case for me would be to see the price retreat to our weekly level, 4.5% down. Is that what I said? Yeah, 4.5% down. And then a close above this trend line. And if that happens, then I think we are near rocketing up to 96.4. If it doesn't happen and we stay within this channel, then maybe we get more of a sideways chop. We stay in this channel for a while and we bump out later on. And we'll see next week what happens. Okay. So for the weekly trade, it's going to be around 80,000. We'll see what it is when the candle closes at 8 o'clock, or when 8 o'clock hits. And then, oh man, my short's being wrecked over here. This is another thing. If it closes above over here, it's even more bullish.
Hmm.
But we do have to clear this level, so far more likely that I think we're going to clear this level. There is one thing that's bothering me for the week ahead, and that's this level down here. You'll see it's not mitigated, the 78.2 level. Now I called this level cleared in the tweets because I always use a little bit of a buffer to offset it. So here I said 78.5 was the level I was actually looking at to mitigate that level. But when I looked, I saw that my script didn't actually mitigate it. I saw there was a itty bitty space here. And what am I going to say, Peter?
Chart doesn't like that. OCD. Gotta touch
Charts
it.
opening. It do not like that. And we got a healthy bounce off of it, which makes me think, okay, Tom, it's just that your script is a little bit too dead on. But you guys will remember when we talked about it over here, this, it didn't like it, and we had to go back to retrace it, right? So this looked like it was a bounce off that level that was pretty solid, but we still have to go back and get it. And the thing is, the price when these levels get mitigated, they don't usually get mitigated just like by a little smidgen. They get crossed.
Mhm.
Like that's what normally happens. It's not usually it's cross. It gets up here, it crossed down. Look, here it's the wick that closed above it. Like the high was above it, and then the close after the opening was below it. And so to me, this is not very satisfying, which means we could even get a drop all the way down to here.
That's what I would expect. In
Yeah.
this market, that's what I would expect. What's the overall sentiment? Have you taken a
I
temperature check?
care not at all about sentiment.
Well, generally speaking, you say when everybody's on one side of the boat, you go to the other side. So your liquidation charts, doesn't that show what does that show?
Well, before today, there was an idea here that hey, because of this bullish move, and that this 74 level was cleared, I was like, the markets are suggesting a piece of good news should show up. That news looked like it happened today, where Donald Trump said that
He was no longer
there's
running for a third term.
no, where the tariffs are. That's not here. Where the tariffs are not going to be on smartphones,
Right.
on
Well,
semiconductors.
Apple. All smartphones?
Well, yeah, smartphones, specifically, certain types of semiconductor chips or whatever, some exceptions.
Right.
And then they're moving from the idea of reciprocal tariffs to um, selective tariffs. I think is what we're talking. I don't know, but it felt like this walking back of the tariff. So on Twitter, there's a bunch of these people going, "Hey, we're expecting this could cause a rip in equities come Sunday night. The futures would end up high." So that's all. That to me, if you look for sentiment, the sentiment is overall bearish for the American economy, but short term bullish to recover all of the tariff loss. Basically, all the downward pressure because of tariffs gets erased. What that looks like, I don't know. But if you ask me for sentiment, that's what it is. I don't care about sentiment. I care what the charts are telling me. The charts are telling me we're headed down to this level, likely for sometime this week. It doesn't mean we can't do some amazing things up here, but it does mean that this is the target. And because this hasn't been mitigated, it makes me think that we get a massive leg down, potentially, then get back up. Now, the question is when we get back over here, do we actually close above the weekly target or below? If we close below, then we're headed back down. And
Well,
the case begins to talk about, hey, this is the end of the cycle. Um, but if it doesn't and we head back up, it'll be hella bullish. So my slant, if you ask my personal FOMO slant, is towards the upside, a drop and then upside run. I don't really care, Peter. I don't care at all about front running this downside move. You guys have never heard me say, and now I'm going to put on a position for the bearish case for Bitcoin. There's no point in doing that. When that happens, we're going to know. It's going to cross below that level. We'll take positions and we're going to ride that sucker all the way down to 40,000. Peter, I could care less if Bitcoin goes to 40,000 or to 160,000. It doesn't matter to me. If it goes up by double or down by 50%, I'm going to make the same amount of money. I really don't care. Um, I
because
just like to I just like that it follows the levels it's supposed to follow.
that's because you're a high value trader.
I'm a high value trader. I might be the highest value one since I have direct contact with the Lord of Liquidity, but that's not because I sought it out. It's because I was chosen.
All
I
right.
would like to say that you guys can be chosen too, but I know all the chosen people. So how about we just follow what I'm saying here? Um, waves, we haven't talked about this, but waves are levels too. They're not the same thing as the target levels, but there are places where you can expect support and resistance. And so up to getting up to over here to 91.6, like that would be attractive. And something like if we saw a blast up here to there, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, it wouldn't be from over here, it'd be from over here.
All
But we'll
right.
see. We'll see what happens with the week ahead.
Watch this
Um,
space.
Watch the space. Yeah, our table is showing bullishness on the daily, but it's a very narrow bullishness. It's very, very narrow. But we'll see. Bearish on the weekly, moving towards neutrality. Bearish on the monthly, moving towards neutrality, and neutral on the 3 month. So
I
pretty interesting times.
I do love this feeling that it doesn't matter where it goes. For so long in Bitcoin, we're like, we want it to go up, all time highs, we want to make your money. But now it just seems like you're just watching the season of the show, and however it goes, and it'll be fun either way. Does the hero live? Does the hero die? Does the enemy live? Does the enemy die? Don't know. Show's gonna continue. Uh, it's fantastic.
What it feels like to me is like, and this is what I always picture charts like. Someone throws a football down a flight of stairs, and everyone's trying to predict where the football is going to go. And you go, just look at the stairs. You know it's gonna hit the stair again. So just go, it's near this stair, so just bet on that stair. Why are we trying to figure out where the squirrely thing's gonna be bouncing all over the place? If you're right, it's gonna be a guess. But for sure, 100% guaranteed, you know that football is gonna hit that stair again. So that's what I find to be fascinating. It's just that this is a multi-dimensional stair that can fall up or fall down, and it can fall under the stairs or above the stairs. But when you think multi-dimensionally the way that I do, and I credit that very much to Back to the Future 1, 2, 3, allowing me to see things in a way different than normal people. I can make these predictions.
Fantastic. Well, exciting stuff. We got to keep watching this. Remember, everybody, that these indicators are free. You have to sign up as an affiliate for BitGet. Tom will tell you about more about that in a moment. But these are free, and they do help you to understand what you're looking at. We want you to become a high value trader. We don't want this FOMO and your feelings and all that stuff in this. Look at the charts, look at the data. What is it telling you? And these indicators give you a leg up in that respect. So, Tom, if I want to get this, can I get it? These
Yeah,
indicators?
message me on Twitter. Message me on
So
Twitter at Sacred Prophet. Say, I'm not worshiping you, but you want the indicators, and I'll set you up. People message me all the time for them. I give them the indicators. It'd be great.
and you will be launching the indicators and your I don't know what I should say or not say. So, but there's some
Yeah, the whole
exciting
point is that
stuff.
we're gonna have a dashboard where all these different signals, you're gonna be able to see them instead of a dashboard. You're not gonna be able to see some of the ones you might be able to pick out if you get the indicators. So it's always better if you have the indicators yourself because you can do it. But if you don't want to be the guy there, like having to sit down and analyze the charts, we're gonna have signals there. They're not trades, they're just signals to let us know what trend we're looking for, and then you figure out at what point you want to get in. We are going to have that, and that whole process is going to come with the ability to quickly register and get yourself these indicators added to your TradingView chart. But until that happens, I'm not promising when. It's going to happen at some point. Very interested for that happening. People are working on it right now. Until then, message me. Message me. You'll get the indicators. You'll sign up as an affiliate. Takes no time at all, and we'll be rocking and rolling. And soon we're going to have a private Telegram group where you'll be able to talk to me. Where I'm going to actually tell you the things that I'm thinking about and some of the trades that I haven't tweeted out because I only tweet out things that are certain. But sometimes, and Peter will notice, sometimes I get into trades that are just amazing that I don't tell people because I'm a little bit of a degen. That's what happens when you get drunk in the blood of the Lord. You know what I mean? Sometimes you see it gets some cookie stuff. So I'll take trades sometimes that are like home run trades that I don't really brag about because it make you feel bad. But if you join the group for free, you can also participate as well. I just want to hear any belly aching if things go badly. Right? We're in high risk states over here, but if you want to be a high value trader, you got to get some good game. You got to get some good risks there, and that's what I try to provide.
Do these indicators work for more than just Bitcoin?
I've optimized them for Bitcoin. Well, rather, my analysis has been optimized for Bitcoin. They do work on other assets. In fact, it looks like it works great on gold, looks great on equities, anything that is responding to large institutional movement. Remember, the basis for all of the indicators that we've been talking about on our shows is the idea that we're playing with institutional players, with large players. So Michael Saylor is buying into the market, well, we want to travel in his wake. We don't know who the big players are, but there are big players within the market, and we want to be there. So some people trade smart money, and we like to trade wise money. TM.
Clip it, tweet it, ship it. Very good. This is
Write
fun.
it, custom, paste it, save it, load it, check it quick. All right, I can't be too good, or we're gonna get a copyright strike. All right, we'll leave it there for Sunday Fuel, and we'll be back next Sunday for even more. I was going to use some sort of prayer term for it, but I really don't want people to worship me. Like honestly, it embarrasses me a bit when people say how good I am and how amazing this God is. How did you do it, guys? It's you can do it too.
This
You
guy
can
gets
do
a
it.
Herman Miller chair, and now he's all hoity-toity, huh?
Sacred Prophet, brought to you by Herman Miller. Oh, my Herman Miller chair, so happy. My Mira too. I almost got the air on. I almost got the air on chair like an idiot. I don't know why I followed everybody else online. Aaron's the best. Aaron's the best. Have you seen some of the adjustments on the Mira 2? Super comfortable.
All
I
right,
think for people, if you're a
let's
short person, I think that's a problem.
let's save this. I actually do want to do something where we do a segment where we talk about products and services that actually improve your ability to trade. You might not think that the chair matters, but I think it matters a whole lot. But we'll talk
It
about
does.
that.
It does because I have to pay for it. So making money like really matters. It's like directly one to one with trading. All right, but for now, wish you guys happy trading.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I really hope they don't worship me.